My phone dinged again and again, vibrating almost violently in my pocket. Without looking at it, though, I flicked the button of my phone's side to shut it to silent. I continued on, explaining how documentation assessment worked to the newbies who'd been dropped off that morning from HR. The group looked interested in what I was saying and chuckled as I retold the story about a client saying he wore his savings on his wrist. The photo he was going to send me of his watch proved he had money. Then, all at once, something was wrong. The back of my neck was drenched in a cold sweat and my palms were prickling. I let out a shady breath and one of the group members asked if I was okay. I nodded and then heard a knock on the boardroom door. One of the floor managers walked in. Her face looked stern and I felt my stomach starting to flip. Guys, I need to grab Lily about something. Can you take a break downstairs in the kitchen? I'll come back to you once we're done, and so we can finish our introduction. They all nodded and made their way out of the boardroom, happy to have a break so early on their first day. Amy, what's going on? I asked. She bit her lips and took a seat, motioning for me to do the same. I complied. My knees felt like they were going to buckle from the anticipation of whatever she had to say. There was a silence, and in that silence I'm pretty sure my heartbreak was audible. Amy and I were friends. Really good friends, and I could tell something was wrong. Her eyes were glassed over and she kept fiddling with the ring she was wearing. Lily, something's happened and you may need to go home. I felt my eyes narrow at her. Go home? I was the only training manager the office had. There was no way I'd be given the okay to go home. Unless... Who died? I asked with a weak laugh. I don't think I can answer that right now. Amy then moved closer towards me, now taking a seat right beside me. She placed her hand over mine. Alex is missing. One of his friends found me on Facebook and messaged me. No one had heard from him in 5 days. His parents wanted your number. They wanted to speak to you, see if you knew anything. My response to this was to move over to the small bin we had in the corner and vomit. Amy rubbed my back as I cried and dry heaved for what felt like forever. The rest of the day was honestly a fog. Amy drove me home and sat on my sofa, curled up in a ball covered in blankets. I didn't realize how long I'd been there feeling sorry for myself until I heard my front door open. My dog barely reacted, instead choosing to push his wet snout into my face. Lily, are you okay? I sat up and Amy looked at me with concern. Have you eaten? No, I answered. Amy then stroked the side of my face for a moment. Well, let me make something for you and maybe you can run yourself a bath. I then nodded and padded into my bathroom, closing the door behind me. I watched the bath fill with hot water, feeling numb. Alex couldn't be missing. I was going to have a hot bath, come out of here, and see Amy cuddling my dog and explaining it was all an elaborate prank. Yes, that would be all. Everything will be fine. I'm sorry. I lowered myself into the water, hoping the scaling heat would wash the day away. I then leaned over the top to fish my phone out of my jeans pocket, and stared at the uncountable notifications. Alex's friends had been really desperate to contact me all day. Why would I even know where he was? Didn't they know? Alex was my best friend, but for the past 4 months he hadn't really spoken to me. Apparently some girls really don't let their boyfriends have close female friendships. I scrolled through all the messages on my phone. At first, everyone thought Alex was on a camping or fishing trip like he usually does. Then his roommate snuck into his room to steal from his badly hidden weed stash to realize how of his stuff was still there. Every single fishing rod, rucksack and piece of camping gear was in its usual place, untouched and gathering dust. I scrolled through the notifications on my phone, seeing the countless messages from Alex's friend Peter, a few from his brother, but only one message stood out. A message from a name I didn't recognize. Neville C. I clicked the Facebook message and felt confusion bubbling in my stomach. He played a game and he lost. But I think we can get him back. Give me a call. A game? What fucking game? I could barely beat Alex at fucking Mario Kart. What game could have he lost? I then heard Amy humming around my kitchen and for a moment considered asking her to call the number with me. But then I remembered how Amy was a rational human being. Even in the state I was in, I was still slightly surprised that she didn't scold at me for leaving the front door unlocked for her to just waltz in. Me calling a strange number to get information about Alex? Yeah, no, she'd probably rightfully tell me to not do that, because it was an insane thing to do. I took a steady breath and called the number. On the third ring, the phone was answered and a disembodied voice began speaking to me. It had an unbearable twang, as if the owner had just finished smoking 20 cigarettes straight and then ran a marathon, and it was ambiguous enough that I couldn't be sure if it was a man or a woman. Lily, the voice croaked. Neville? My voice sounded small as I spoke and I pulled my knees to my chest. The bathwater suddenly felt icy in my skin. I can give you a clue, but I have some rules. Rules? A crackle-like static burst into my ear, and then the voice spoke again. Tell no one. He might not make it back if you do. What type of sick fucking joke is this? I snapped. Well, it's about as funny as making a date out of the boot of a car and wearing his jacket. I froze up. How did he know? Or maybe it's about as funny as holding his hand to steady yourself while walking on the beach. My throat was dry. Whoever this was knew things that Alex and I certainly kept secret. Okay, let's go. Answer me this question and I'll tell you where to find your second clue. You haven't given me the first clue. The voice laughed and it was a high screech. I winced. If you get the correct answer, you'll have the first clue. Message me the answer. Only one attempt. 24 hours. Okay, go ahead then. My name is the game. The line went dead and I heard Amy telling me to hurry the fuck up. I threw my phone onto the clothes I'd left piled on the floor and finished my bath. Once I emerged, dry and cloaked with a dressing gown, Amy stood smiling with a bowl of tuna pasta in hand. I nodded and took the bowl from her. We sat in my sitting room and ate in silence. Work said they understand if you need time away and that you still have a fuck ton of personal days to take, so just give us the heads up when you can. Thank you, Amy. So, have you heard from him or responded to his friends yet? They told me they tried reaching you. I shook my head. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm trying to get my head around all of this. Alex wouldn't just run off. At least without telling me. Listen, I have to go, but are you going to be okay? 'Cause I can go grab some stuff and stay over. Don't worry, I kinda want to be alone. Amy nodded, squeezed my hand, and left. As soon as I heard the door close, I pulled out my phone, staring at the Neville Sims profile that messaged me. He had no posts, his profile photo was of a road, and his profile photo was of a road. I then went upstairs, phone still clasped in hand, and pulled my MacBook out from under my pillow and my journal from the top of my dresser. I flicked to the next empty page and wrote out the name and rearranged the letters. 11 miles. I searched for it on Google and the search bar lit up with results. All the posts details the rule of the game, a game I remembered me and Alex talking about during one of our regular car rides. Alex, babe. I think this one might be fucking legit, I said. He let out an exhale of smoke from his mouth in response and shook his head. See, with all those other bogus rituals, right? There's like a million stories with experiences. There is nothing about the 11 miles game. Whatever, well. But it made no sense. You see, Alex always teased me for believing in paranormal stuff and rolled his eyes whenever I gushed at the new horror release. I then took a deep breath as I googled the rules and messaged Neville Sims. 11 miles, I said. My phone buzzed immediately. Bingo. Pack a big bag. Location drop coming in your way. I put my phone down and read up the rules. A vehicle. Car is the most common choice, a desire and a wish. It must be conducted at night, on a road not well traveled. Drive to the woods, the road you take must pass through them. Whilst on a car, enter the woods. Look carefully, your wish will guide you. You'll know the road when it appears. Once you know you've found the road, turn down. Now it's time to understand the importance of miles. Take a break if you need to. This is the last chance you'll have. Mile 1 drive. It's gonna start getting cold. Maybe you should turn on the heat. Mile 2 drive. Now you should really turn on the heat. If not, you'll regret it. Mile 3 drive. Those shadows might look human, but ignore them. It's not how it seems. Mile 4 drive. The voices aren't human. Ignore them. Mile 5 drive. Ignore the trees vanishing and that lake and the glow of the moon. Ignore them. It's not how it seems. Mile 6 drive. The trees have returned, but the stars are gone. Your headlights have started to flicker. Ignore it. The radio has turned on, but ignore it. Do not turn it off. It's not how it seems. Mile 7 drive. The voices are back. They sound closer now. Do not turn around. Do not look at your back seat. It's not how it seems. Mile 8 drive. Slow down, but do not stop. Your headlights might flicker. If they do, you can brake, but do not stop. No matter how cold it gets, no matter who or what you see, do not stop. It's not how it seems. Mile 9 drive. Your vehicle may stall. Close your eyes. Attempt to restart it, but do not open your eyes. Whatever you think you hear, do not open your eyes. When your vehicle starts up again, drive as fast as you can. When the mile is over, open your eyes. But remember, it's not what it seems. Mile 10 drive. Do not look in your rear view mirror. Mile 11. Your vehicle may lose power, but it'll still move. Let it. If you see a red light, close your eyes. Close them tightly. Cover your ears if you can. Do not open your eyes. Do not listen. Cover your ears. No matter what you hear, no matter what you feel, no matter how it gets, do not look. When your vehicle gets its power back, open your eyes, take a breath, and drive. I lit a cigarette, feeling the stress building up. This wasn't real. This couldn't be it. It didn't make any sense. All you gotta do is play the same game. Winning a game is not that hard. Well, for Alex it was. I looked back at the screen. There was even more information, even more rules. Now drive until the road ends. Stop. Close your eyes. What's the desire? What's your wish? Picture you possessing it. Even if it changed during the journey, open your eyes. If you wanted an object, check the trunk. If it was a non-material, return to your life. Be patient. It'll be there. You may now find yourself at the beginning of the road. You can start again or go home. During your journey, do not turn on the radio, lose your phone, open your window, drive faster than 13 miles, or leave the car. Keep your eyes on the road. You can pick one rule to break, but you must pick it now. I want to be able to use my phone, on the condition you don't call for help. But if you do, there will be consequences. Deal. So now I've got my bag packed. My sister on her way to house sit. Luckily she's never been one to question my erratic behavior, and my GPS ready for a 11-mile journey. I'm coming for you, Alex. Okay guys, I'm very overwhelmed by your kind words. Having read through the comments last night, I've decided to begin my journey tonight instead. You've all been giving me some great advice. I think you guys are right, I need to be packing some supplies. Some of you have also said that there are variants to the rules. The first search I conducted led me to the rules stated above, but looking further into some more stipulations have popped up. I'm prepping for some drive today, and hopefully I'll be able to update you tomorrow or the coming days. Man, at least I hope I can. I'll be reading and responding as much as I can today, guys, and I'll post a mini update here for when I set off. Thank you again for all you've been giving me so far. I truly cannot thank you all enough. Update 2. And so the driving begins. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I hope.